Welcome back to Loveland Report Loan Arranger Show. I am Cleve Loveland, Central Florida's voice of real estate, alongside Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger. I want to jump into some listings real quick. I got some nice ones here. Looking for some space? Mom, the in-laws or the outlaws live with you? I've got over 5,000 square feet in Montverde, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, 1.47 million. And this house was built by a builder, Bruce, and it's a ranch style. Everything's on one floor. There's a loft.
Well, all houses are built by builders.
Well, but this guy, he lives in it. So, the
builder's builder built his own home.
They built his own home. He's on 2.5 acres. It's a slice of the Ponderosa here, 2.5 acres. You can bring horses in this community. They've got horse trails. You're right out by Bella Colina. And it is at inside. You walk in, but all on one floor. There's a little loft you can on the second floor, but the main house is about 4,600 square feet. And then the guest suite out back with a kitchenette. You can throw the in-laws or outlaws out back. 4-car garage, just beautifully done. 20-foot ceilings, Bruce, lined with wood. Double-sided fireplace in the living areas. Big open kitchen, and that's at $1.47 million. I've got in South Bay, just right next to Bay Hill, $1,050,000. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 3,200 square feet with a pool, tile roof, circular drive out front. Big high ceilings when you walk into this plan. It's a 2-2 split plan, Turkish travertine floors.
Wow.
And I guess Turkish travertine costs more than regular travertine.
I would imagine it's very expensive to get it from Turkey.
So, but nice split plan. Laundry room is located right by the master, which is nice. Big glamorous master bath, just ready for a new owner in an estate there on that one. I've got a starter home. Let's go into the starter home price range. $344 in St. Cloud, 1,400 square foot, 3.2. And fresh paint, fresh carpet, wide open floor plan when you walk in. You're on a bend on the road, so the backyard is enormous, pie-shaped lot for $343,000. And I've got lakefront in Deltona for $330,000. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, brand new roof being installed, beautiful lake out back, beautiful view. You can't see your neighbors looking out the back of the home. It's got kind of a double master setup. It's got an enormous master bedroom, but the double bedroom setup, 2 of the bedrooms look at the water. The living areas and the kitchen look at the water. You cannot see your neighbors. 3-acre lot on a fishing lake. It's not a ski lake in Deltona. I've got a condominium in Metro West for $270,000, 1,200 square feet. That is gated. A lot of the condominiums there used to be apartment complexes, and they are not gated. That condo fee is $400 a month. And then I've got in Solavita for $268,000. I've got 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,700 square feet. This house, most of the homes in this neighborhood at $268,000, most of them are around 1,200 or 1,300 square feet. This is 1,700 square feet on a conservation area. And that is 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, plus a den. Could be 3 bedrooms if you need it, plus a Florida room. And then I've got a fixer-upper for $210,000 in Ocoee. This is a 4-bedroom, 2 bath, 1,500 square footer for, check the price, Bruce. It would need a renovation loan. It would qualify at $210,000. 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, probably needs about $50,000, $60,000 to be done top notch, to be a great rental. This is in Ocoee, right near downtown Ocoee. 407-352-8118 on this, and call me if you have any interest in those, or have your realtor call me. I'll get them showing
instructions. This is some great listings. If you want to get pre-approved to make an offer on it, my process is simple and easy. 10 minutes on the phone, 10 minutes on the phone, or you can go to my website at webringyouhome.com. Call or text 407-250-9144 to get pre-approved for one of them. Make an offer. Cleve talks about my FastTrack Loan Program. A FastTrack Loan Program is a fully approved loan, meaning that it's already been underwritten. See, most clients, they call a lender or a bank and they get pre-qualified, meaning they've had their credit pulled. They discuss their income, their assets, their credit, but nothing's validated. And that's why 60+% of loan transactions fall apart prior to the closing, because the loan officers don't do their work. Now, I know it's a little bit more work for you to get approved when you supply all your documents, but it eliminates a lot of stress later on. My FastTrack program means an underwriter approved your loan in advance of you even shopping for a home. That way I can close in as little as 10 days. But here's what I do. Here's why my clients win, and here's why Cleve loves it. When you're FastTrack loan approved, I guarantee you a close date. I guarantee you that I will not miss a closing date no matter what, unless you literally die during the process, because the loan's been underwritten. Therefore, I can call the seller and tell them I'll guarantee you that I'll close on time, or I'll pay you up to $500 a day
how many
for
lenders call
every
me?
day that I miss the closing.
I actually got a call, Bruce. It's the first time ever from another lender besides you that calls the listing agents. And I was pretty impressed.
Yeah,
Almost,
good for
and I
them.
told him, I said,
I should recruit that person.
you should recruit that. I'll get you his name.
You'll have to give me.
I was very impressed and very appreciative of that. That sealed the deal for me. So that's part of the, I can assure my sellers that, hey, it's going to close. Now, let me say this about why other lenders and their basically worthless pre-qual letter. It's because people don't want, people are like, oh, I got to do paperwork. Oh, I got to upload stuff. But that's part of the process. This is one of the most expensive purchases you will probably ever make. I don't think people are buying car. Well, people probably are buying, they're probably leasing cars worth more than their houses sometimes, but this is very important. You need to take the time to do it right, get you all the paperwork. And it's funny because your people, your team is always, my buyers will tell me, hey, Bruce's team's calling me all the time. That means you haven't uploaded all your paperwork.
That's right.
Get that done.
It is so true, because it is the biggest,
Put that behind you, get it done.
But it is the biggest resistance that we get, is gathering the client's documents. But what I do that because when I don't do it, it only hurts the client, and nobody wants to have last minute issues when it comes to buying a home. So no, I am very much upfront about gathering documents. But let me tell you something, folks. Here's basically what we need when it comes to approving you. I've got to verify your income. So that might be pay stubs, W-2s, tax returns if you're self-employed. I have to verify assets. That's going to be bank statements. Come on, can you get me your bank statements?
Yep.
It's not that hard to do. And then it's got to be credit. So I pull your credit. We go over credit. If everything is fine with the credit, or if you need to pay something off, we consult with you.
But you tell them exactly what to do.
I give you a complete checklist of what you need to do. And some people look at it and go, oh my God, that's a lot of things. Yeah, there was 15 things on the list.
You're buying a $500,000 home.
But it's your
do it
2022 W2, your 2023 W2. So I'm just listing all these things. But the fact of the matter is the more thorough you are up front, the less problems you have later on.
Yep.
And usually the people that can get me those documents are the ones that get the best rate.
Ones.
You know why they get the best rate? Because they're the most organized.
Yep.
They're the most organized. They generally have better credit.
Yep.
So if you don't like what rate you get, it's probably because of you, not because of the lender.
Might be your fault.
Now, I don't mean, and I'm not trying to be ugly about that. I'm just telling you that the better organized you are, the better your credit, the better your interest rate. I don't determine interest rates.
It's very important.
You determine the interest
rates. They get that
rates.
started. And it's funny. I have people say, Bruce's team won't leave me alone. I'm like, that's because I said, that means you're missing a piece of paper.
That's
get it in, because you want
me the document.
I want him to be able to call this seller and say, you are fast track. That's
now,
very
listen,
important.
My team helps you do that. But listen, I got to cover things that I promised I was going to cover. First of all, what do you think about? You think the Fed's going to cut the Fed rate?
No, they didn't. They're not
supposed
to
not
until the end of June.
The Fed rate. They're not cutting the Fed rate. It's not going to happen until June. We knew it was a 97.5% chance, no Fed cut. It probably will happen next time. I don't know what the odds are just yet. They're all being accumulated right now. However, I don't want a Fed cut. I don't like Fed cuts. Then I want to move into points, because right now people want to buy down points because interest rates are a little higher. But even to pay 1 or 2 points is only going to lower your interest rate by maybe 1/8 of a point to 1/4 of a point, maybe 3/8 of a point at best. So you have to be cautious about paying points. I have a client right now. They wanted to pay 2.5 points to buy their rate down. And I'm like, it's only dropping your payment by $65 a month. Yeah. Why would you pay me $4,000 to drop a payment by $65
on a loan? You'll probably
only
have 24 months
on a loan that you're going to refinance later on. I said, if you want to pay that $4,500, wait till I refi it when rates are 5.5. Buy it down to 5%. Then you can do it. Now they look at that and they go, oh my God, thank you for saving me money.
Your numbers.
But if you don't know the numbers, you're not going to make an informed decision.
All right. Now I want to dig into
phone number first.
407-352-8118 for your real estate plan, Cleve Loveland, or cleveloveland.com. But I want to show the inventory numbers, which I had to kind of extrapolate myself. Inventory, we're still probably almost in a buyer's market, Bruce. Excuse me, on the edge of a seller's buyer's market. Really depends on where you're at. And
it does.
And this is why you can't just look at a website, look at your valuator and go, oh, that's my price. those valuators online don't know that you just did a $100,000 swimming pool.
No, they
They
don't.
don't know you just did a $50,000 kitchen remodel or master bath remodel. They don't know that the house was left to you by Aunt Jean, who had 37 cats. So all those things come into play. But right now, we're on the edge of that market, and hopefully, I'm thinking with the number of sales we had in March and
Things are
April,
starting to pick back
that
up.
thing will slide back towards that seller's market. And I'd like to see about a 3-month supply. That's a comfortable, market for the sellers and the buyers. Are not fighting too many multiple offers. Depends on where you're at. I had multiple offers on a property last week, but it was the sharpest one. It was the first one to pop up in this neighborhood. And I've got another one coming, Bruce, at $1.4 million. I'll have multiple offers on this house.
Good
This
for
house
you.
is gorgeous. And we will have that and this is this is what's also important about picking your realtor. Call my team to help you shop, but having an organized, dedicated, full-time realtor helping you look around, not a hobbyist, not your sister's friend's cousin who sold 3 homes last year, or maybe 3 back in 2022. You know how many resumes I get, Bruce, from realtors that want to come work for me?
Oh,
And they're
boy.
like, well, I did 10 sales back in 2021 and 22. I'm like, total? Like nothing since then? What have you been doing since then? So anyway, but I want to talk also about those numbers will improve. Hopefully the board will get that report out to us. I've got the DBO news department sniffing around. But also I got a net here, Bruce, out of state people, everybody's like, where's all the buyers from New York? How are you going to get my house in front of the buyers from New York? Well, any buyer anywhere, they're always going to shop the MLS. They're going to end up in a realtor's car. You know what our net migration was in 2024? No. 800 people. If you count the ones that moved out, and you count and subtract the ones that from the ones that moved in,
yes,
800 people
in the entire state.
Yes, that's the number.
We had only 800 people plus moved to the state. Something I think that's a wrong number.
Now it was 15,000 the previous year. People running from COVID and blue states and lockdowns and things like that in 2023. So only 800 people net, because we got people leaving. I have this happen.
Well, I hope they're all liberal.
Well, that could be, but
they're
I think
moving.
People are going to less expensive states. Our median price is floating in the high 3s, and they can go to Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, some places in the Midwest, and get, depending on what they're doing. But I do have people run from hurricanes. And in fact, they come to Central Florida.
Yeah, they do.
But that's why, it's important to know the market. And I think
that might be a buying opportunity.
This is from
I'm honestly thinking, if that many people are moving out of Florida, and we've had hurricanes for the last 2,000 years,
no, but every time there's a bad
years,
one, people haul butt. They haul butt. And think about the financial move, Bruce. They're cashing in. If they were on the coast and got hit hard, they're cashing in on that home sale and probably taking, who knows, 5, 6, 7, 800,000. I think that
insurance costs are what's driving most people.
That's part of it too. Insurance costs, the cost of the housing, and the extreme weather on those hurricanes. I see people do that all the time, but the insurance cost is a big part of it, because that's like a drag on your home price also. That's probably why they're not going to like Oklahoma or Iowa and worried about tornadoes. So, but it's important we help you shop all these things when you're buying. But your buyer, most likely 75% of the time, going to be another Central Floridian. Call me at 407-352-8118. I'll be working all weekend.
All right. Now I want to talk about buying down points. If you're going to buy down points, you need to really look at what the cost of the point is and how much it's reducing the interest rate. But then the interest rate isn't as important as how much is it reducing the payment. Whatever you're paying for points, divide that savings into how much the point costs, and it tells you what your break-even point is. That's how simple it is. I will go over those numbers with you. I want you to make sure you're clear on it so you're not getting duped. And here's what I do for clients. When you're looking to shop for a rate, I will literally pull up my competition's interest rates and show them to you. I'll show you Rocket Mortgage. I'll show you mine. I'll show you how many points you pay with me, how many points you pay with them, and I'll show you how to get the best mortgage that you could ever have. My name is Bruce Woodburn. I am the Loan Arranger. I'm here to help you, your family, your friends. I've got every loan program you could possibly think of, from conventional FHA, VA, USDA, all 100% financing, down payment assistance, streamlined refinances, reverse mortgages, construction perms, physician loans with no money down. You name it. There's just too many loans for me to even go over in this segment. 407-250-9144 or webringyouhome.com. I'll be back in 5 minutes with more of the Loveland Report, Loan Arranger Radio Show.